During my promotion party, I noticed the decorations said, "Congrats on your engagement." Confused, I looked over. My sister was cutting the cake I paid for. Dad smirked. "Your celebration wasn't as important." Shaking, I grabbed the mic and said to him, "Then you won't mind what happens next." He laughed. Next day my phone exploded with 52 missed calls. Sister was crying, Mom was yelling, and Dad was begging me to turn the power back on. But then I stood frozen, champagne glass in hand, the rim still pressed to my lips. "What is this?" I whispered. The room had erupted into clapping and cheers, but not for me. Not for the promotion I had worked 3 brutal years to get. Not for the night I had paid for top to bottom, the rooftop venue, the food, the drinks, the custom cake with gold lettering that was supposed to say, "Cheers to you, Daniel." No. The banner above the fireplace read, "Congrats on your engagement, Jenna and Matt." And right there in the middle of it all was my sister, Jenna, beaming like a crowned queen, holding hands with her fiancé as she leaned over and sliced the cake I had ordered. The same cake I had picked up that morning. The one I had driven through traffic for. The one she now stood in front of like it had always been hers. I blinked. Once. Twice. My heart began pounding against my ribs. She looked up, caught my eye, and had the audacity to smile. Smile. Then came my father's voice behind me, low and smug. "Your little work party wasn't that important, Daniel. This is real news." The glass nearly slipped from my hand. People were taking pictures of Jenna and Matt, laughing, lifting their glasses. My coworkers looked confused. A few guests glanced at me like they weren't sure if I was supposed to be part of the celebration anymore. I turned slowly. My father was already making his way toward the bar, sipping from a tumbler, like everything was perfectly normal. My mother? Oh, she clapped along with the others, like she hadn't spent the last week helping me coordinate this entire event. And that's when something inside me snapped. I stepped forward, walked directly to the DJ, and without a word, took the mic. Jenna was still posing for photos, the knife still in her hand, while Matt leaned in to kiss her cheek. I tapped the mic. Everyone turned. Dad laughed, clearly expecting me to make a toast. "Oh, come on, don't be bitter, Danny. Let your sister have her moment." I brought the mic to my lips. My hands were shaking, but my voice was clear. Cold. "Then you won't mind what happens next." He blinked, confused, then smirked again like he didn't believe I had it in me. But the next day, they all believed it. Because by noon, I had 52 missed calls. My sister was crying. My mom was yelling. And my dad? My dad was begging me to turn the power back on. But then The thing is, I should have seen this coming. This wasn't just a one-time betrayal. It was the culmination of years of being treated like an afterthought, a wallet with legs. Let me rewind. 3 years ago, when I landed my job at Cobalt Tech, no one in my family congratulated me. Not even a "well done." But when Jenna got hired as a part-time wedding planner's assistant, my mom cried. My dad opened champagne. I remember that day vividly because I was the one who bought the bottle. Still, I tried. I invited them to my apartment warming party. They didn't come. I sent money when Dad couldn't make rent on the house I no longer lived in. I wired funds when Mom's car broke down, even though 2 weeks later she posted a selfie with a new handbag. Jenna's handbag. And when Jenna's fiancé Matt proposed, I bought them a dinner. A really expensive one. Because she called me crying, saying he didn't even get her a ring. "It's so embarrassing," she sobbed. "Could you just help me feel special for once?" So I booked them a reservation at Le Marais, paid for her hair and makeup, even had the chef surprise them with a mini engagement cake. She posted it all online with the caption, "Matt really knows how to spoil me." She didn't mention me once. That didn't stop me though. Because when you grow up being the less important one, you'll do anything to be seen. Even if it means setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. So when I got promoted to senior project manager, a title I sacrificed everything to earn, I wanted one single night to celebrate. Just one. I booked the rooftop venue, sent out invites, hired the caterers, designed the cake. Jenna asked if she could help decorate. I thought maybe she was finally coming around. Maybe we could have one normal sibling moment. But the decorations she picked? They weren't for me. She hijacked everything. I found out later, the invitations I emailed to the family? She created new ones. Custom engagement invites with her and Matt's names. She even sent them to my coworkers. I didn't know because I trusted her with the guest list. Trusted her with my night. And that wasn't the worst of it. The cake I paid for? She changed the order. Took my name off. Added hers and Matt's. She even asked the baker to make it look more romantic. And Dad? Oh, he knew. Of course he knew. Because when I confronted him later that night, he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Come on, Dan. No one cares about promotions. It's not like you're saving lives. Jenna's getting married. That's a real milestone." I couldn't breathe. Like something cracked open in my chest. All those years. All the sacrifices. The $3,000 I gave Dad when he said the mortgage was overdue. Turns out it went to a surprise weekend getaway for Mom and Jenna. The busted car I paid to fix? They sold it and pocketed the cash. Mom admitted it during a wine buzz and laughed like it was cute. "You were working so much, sweetheart. We figured you wouldn't notice." They always use the same lines. "It's family, Daniel. You're the successful one. You can afford it. You're not married, no kids. What do you even need money for?" I once asked for a loan back, just $500 to cover moving expenses. My dad actually scoffed and said, "You make 6 figures. You don't need help. That's selfish, son. Selfish." That word followed me like a curse. I didn't say anything that night. Not during the fake celebration. Not when Jenna kissed Matt in front of my cake. Not even when Dad smirked like he had pulled off some grand masterstroke. But inside, something was breaking. Something was changing. Because I had finally seen the truth. I wasn't part of the family. I was the resource. And they thought I'd never stop giving. They were wrong. I left the venue early. Got into my car. Sat in silence for 20 minutes as the city lights blurred behind my windshield. And then I made a decision. The party might have been stolen, but the power, the money, the house, those were mine. And if they thought I wouldn't flip the script, they were about to learn the hard way. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, remembering every moment they dismissed me, laughed at me, used me. I thought of every wire transfer, every thank you that never came, every time I swallowed my pride and told myself maybe next time will be different. It never was. By sunrise, I was ready. I called in a personal day at work, logged into all my accounts, shut down everything. Electricity, disconnected. Credit card I added Dad as an authorized user on, canceled. Joint bank account Mom had access to for emergencies, frozen. Wi-Fi and cell family plan I'd been paying for, terminated. I was done being useful. By noon, my phone had 52 missed calls. First Mom, then Jenna, then Matt, then Mom again, then Dad, something he rarely does unless it's a financial emergency. Voicemails were coming in rapid fire. "Daniel, what is going on? The power's out. I can't work like this, Daniel. How dare you do this on the day of all days? I'm trying to log into the account and it says it's restricted. Daniel, your sister is in tears. Call US back." And then came the final straw, a group text from Jenna. "Okay, haha, we get it. You're mad. You made your little point. Turn it back on already. Don't ruin our week." I stared at the screen, smiling. Then I responded, "I'm just getting started." That night, I showed up at their house. Yes, their house. The same house where I grew up. The one I had secretly co-signed for 3 years ago when Dad's credit tanked and they were about to lose it. They never told Jenna that, of course. She still believed Daddy Dearest owned it. I knocked once and walked right in. The room was chaos. Candles were lit everywhere. My mom was yelling at my dad. Jenna was crying on the stairs with her phone in her lap. Matt was pacing. When they saw me, the silence hit like a bomb. "You," Dad growled. "What do you think you're at?" "I'm here," I said, calm as ice, "to collect what's mine." Mom blinked. What are you talking about?" "I own this house," I said. "Legally. It's in my name. You all thought I was just the guy paying the bills? Wrong. I've had the deed since 2021. You know, back when you called me crying about foreclosure and said you'd pay me back in a year. Never did." Jenna stood up. "Wait, what are you talking about?" I turned to her. "Oh, you didn't know? That cake you cut into at my party? That happened in a house I own. Using power I pay for. With guests I invited." My dad looked pale now. "Daniel, let's talk about this calmly." "No," I said. "Because you didn't care about calm when you humiliated me last night. Then I pulled out a folder and dropped it on the table. It was thick. "What is this?" Jenna asked. I smiled. "Receipts, bank transfers, Venmo logs, utility bills, grocery lists, rent stubs. The wire I sent to Matt last year when his business was in trouble." Matt's eyes widened. "Wait, how did you?" "Oh, don't worry, Matt," I said. "You're not the only one who lied." Then I took out a USB drive. I found something interesting when I went into the family cloud account to cancel the shared data. See, Jenna never changed her access passwords, so all her files synced. I plugged the drive into the TV. "What are you doing?" she snapped. The screen lit up. Video footage. Her, sitting in a hotel room, in a robe, with another man, kissing him, calling him baby. Matt went white. "That's from 2 weeks ago," I said. "Palm Springs. Your engagement trip." Jenna gasped. "You're spying on me?" "I was protecting my investment," I said coldly. "But thanks for confirming it's you." Matt turned to her. "You told me that was a girl's trip." "Matt, No, don't. Just don't." He stood up and walked out the front door without another word. My mom looked like she was going to faint. My dad sat down, head in hands. And Jenna? She just stood there shaking. "I paid for that trip," I said. "I paid for your engagement dinner. I paid for the apartment you live in. And I paid for this house." I paused. "Correction. I own this house." Then I dropped the real bombshell. "I'm selling it." They all looked up at once. "What?" Mom whispered. "I'm giving you 30 days, I said. "Then you're out. The realtor comes Monday. Consider it your engagement gift, Jenna." "You can't do this," Dad hissed. "This is our home." "No," I said. "It was mine. Now it's just an investment I'm done losing money on." And with that, I turned, walked out, and slammed the door behind me. The moment I slammed that door, I felt it. The shift, the silence, the freedom. I walked to my car under the night sky, heart pounding, not from fear, but from a rush I hadn't felt in years. Control, clarity, closure. For the first time since I was old enough to cash a paycheck, I wasn't carrying their lives on my back. And wow, it felt good. The next few days? Chaotic. My phone didn't stop ringing. First Mom, then Jenna, then Dad, who suddenly remembered how to dial a number when his Wi-Fi was cut and the foreclosure notice arrived. I ignored every single call. Instead, I booked a ticket. One way, somewhere quiet, coastal. Booked a small Airbnb with ocean views and no family drama. I sat on the beach the first morning, drank real coffee, and felt the sun on my face. No guilt, no obligations. And then the real fallout began. Day 3, the texts turned hostile. "You're ruining our lives, Daniel. You embarrassed the whole family. How could you betray us after everything we've done?" Everything they did. I'd paid their bills, kept a roof over their heads, and let them steal my moment. And now I was the villain? I turned my phone off. Again. Day 5, Jenna's engagement collapsed. Matt's sister DM'd me on Instagram. "Hey, just wanted you to know, Matt's moved out. He's staying with me. Told us everything. Also that footage. You did the right thing. She's been cheating for months." Turns out, Matt wasn't as clueless as he looked. He'd suspected something. My footage just confirmed it. He sent me a message himself a few days later. Simple. Clean. "Thanks for the truth. I wish I'd seen it sooner. You're not the bad guy." I didn't reply. Day 9. I got an email from the realtor. "We've secured 2 serious buyers for the property. Given the neighborhood, I estimate you'll walk away with a 6-figure profit. Do you want me to begin the 30-day notice for the tenants?" Yes. Yes, I did. I replied with a single sentence. "Send the notice." Day 11. Mom called from a hotel room. She was crying. "Daniel, please, we have nowhere to go. This isn't what families do." I didn't say anything. Just let her talk. She begged. She blamed. She even tried to bribe me with the idea of rebuilding trust. But here's the thing. You can't rebuild something that was never there. And I told her that. "Mom," I said. "You laughed while Jenna cut the cake I paid for. You called my celebration meaningless. You stood there while Dad said my job didn't matter." She sniffled. "That was just a moment." "No," I said. "That was the moment. When I realized I didn't have a family. I had a debt collection agency with matching DNA." She hung up. Day 15, my coworker Lexi texted me. "Just saw the video you posted. You really turned that mess into a mic drop. Right. I forgot to mention, I posted a video recap. Not the cheating footage, that stayed private. But I filmed myself explaining the party sabotage, the hijacked cake, the betrayal. I blurred names, but if you knew, you knew. It went viral on LinkedIn. Not TikTok. Not YouTube. LinkedIn. Caption: this was my promotion party. Until my family decided it wasn't. I paid. I hosted. They erased me. So I erased the bill. Over 300,000 views. People started messaging me like I was an inspiration. Recruiters reached out. CEOs. HR reps. Even strangers. Day 17. Jenna tried to do damage control. She posted an Instagram reel, pretending everything was fine. New captions. New photos. Her smiling alone with a fake caption about finding peace. Except comments weren't buying it. Her own followers were turning on her. Wait, aren't you the girl who hijacked her brother's party? Didn't you get exposed by your own guest? Where's Matt? She deleted the reel. Day 20, my grandmother called. I hadn't expected that. She rarely got involved. Always stayed out of family issues. But she called, and her voice was shaky. I saw the post, Daniel. I knew they treated you differently. I just didn't know how bad it got. It's fine, Grandma, I said. I'm fine now. No, she said firmly. You're free now, and you deserve to be. Then she added, I'm changing my will. Just so you know. I nearly dropped the phone. Wait, what? I was going to split it evenly, she said. But after seeing how they act when they think no one's watching, I changed my mind. I didn't ask for that. Didn't expect it. But it hit me harder than I thought. Someone finally saw me. Not as a wallet. Not as backup. As a person. That night, I sat on the balcony, staring at the ocean. And I realized something. I hadn't lost my family. I'd just lost the illusion of one. What I gained was priceless. Peace. Boundaries. Self-respect. And maybe, finally, a real chance at building a life that belonged to me. 3 weeks after I shut everything down, I sat in my new apartment. Quiet. Modern. No family portraits on the walls. And let myself breathe. It was the first place I'd ever lived that didn't carry someone else's chaos. No siblings crashing on the couch. No parents calling about overdue bills. No sudden texts from Jenna asking if I could spot her for a girl's trip. It was just mine. And it felt unreal. I used to think family was something sacred. That no matter how bad things got, blood would always pull us back together. But the truth is, blood doesn't bind. Behavior does. And once I stopped bleeding for them, they disappeared. They weren't calling anymore. Not because they understood, but because their power was gone. I wasn't useful anymore. And that was their only measure of love. I got a call from my old manager that week. He said, "We're still recovering from your party." What happened? I told him the truth. Not the full, chaotic meltdown, but just enough. My family hijacked the night. I just decided not to let it go. He laughed. Honestly, people haven't stopped talking about it. Some say you went nuclear. I didn't go nuclear, I said. I just finally lit the match they kept handing me. He went quiet, then said, "Well, congrats on the new position again. And whatever you did, it woke people up. You're getting noticed by the execs." Funny, the promotion I fought so hard for, the one they mocked, was now turning heads because I finally showed I had a spine. Turns out, setting boundaries is more powerful than begging for approval. As for the house, sold in 28 days. The new owners moved in last weekend. I didn't tell anyone. I just let it happen. My parents are renting a 2-bedroom condo on the other side of town now. Jenna? She's back at mom's, sleeping in her childhood room. No Matt, no job, no wedding hashtag to chase. And you know what? I don't feel bad. Not one bit. Because when people call you selfish for not letting them exploit you, what they really mean is, I liked it better when you had no boundaries. I was at a coffee shop the other day, the same one I used to pass by on my way to my parents' house. A woman recognized me from the video. "You're the guy from the LinkedIn post, right? With the family party thing?" I nodded. She smiled. "Just wanted to say thank you. That post made me walk away from my toxic brother. First peaceful week I've had in years." She left with her coffee and didn't say anything else. But I sat there, stunned. Because for the first time ever, my story wasn't just survival. It was a signal. To everyone out there who's tired of being the emotional or financial punching bag for people who call it love, Jenna once told me I'd regret turning my back on the family. She said, "You'll come crawling back when you're alone." Here's what she doesn't get. Alone isn't the worst thing you can be. Used as, manipulated, gaslit, expected to smile while people rob your joy and call it tradition. That's what I walked away from. And in return, I got something I never thought I'd have. A full night's sleep. A clean inbox. A life that's mine. So here's what I've learned. If your family only calls you when they need something, that's not family. If they laugh at your wins, sabotage your joy, and guilt you for having limits, that's not love. And if your success makes them bitter instead of proud, you don't owe them a single thing. Not money. Not peace offerings. Not forgiveness. You owe yourself freedom. The next time someone calls you selfish for choosing yourself, smile and say, "You're right, I am."